Hey everybody, welcome back to CFE.dev. I'm your host Nick Taylor for today. This is another episode of Two Full Two Stack. Today we're going to be digging into some Astro. Just got my voice is cracking. Uh, another phase of puberty potentially, but anyways, I digress. Just gonna post on socials. Here we go. Cool. Yeah, so we're going to dig into Astro. I'm just going to do a quick check on the YouTube because we had a little technical difficulty just getting started there. So just want to make sure that we're live, even though it says we're live. I always like to check. Cool, we are live. Okay, that's good. Awesome. Okay, let's get to it. Okay. Let's go ahead and share my screen here and just let me present my screen. Hope everybody's doing good today. Hey, Sarah. Hey, JY. Hey, Toeni TV. For uni. Well, we got a ton of people here. Oh, thanks for joining, everybody. Okay, all right, we got things shared here. Now we can close all this. Gonna rearrange a couple things. I was in a meeting before, so I was just organizing a couple things, but let's get my editor up here. Cool, there we go. VS Code, where'd you go? Okay, cool. All right, let's close work-related stuff. And yeah, so we're going to talk about Astro today, like I was mentioning. Uh, you can't slip an Astro stream past us. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. That one deserves to go on the highlight. Cool. So let's load up astro.build. And I'm just going to go ahead and close my folder in VS Code. Nothing to hide there. It's all open source, but yeah, let's get to streams. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we're gonna dig into Astro. I know there was hey Brian, how's it going, man? Hey Thomas, thanks for joining. Also, shout out to Thomas, Sarah. He's been doing a lot of translations to French in the docs for Astro. So just wanted to give Thomas his flowers. So shout out to you, my man. Cool. So yeah, so we're gonna dig into Astro, and I know there was some talks at the jam.dev. James Q Quick talked about Astro and all it can do. Um, it's a super cool project, to be honest. I used to work at Netlify on the frameworks team, and Astro is one of those exciting frameworks to me. There's a lot of great frameworks, but oh, yeah, I didn't realize they're not merged yet, but yeah, no worries. Cool. But the cool thing about Astro is, it started off, marketed as for marketing sites or like generally static sites, but I think it's become more of that. And I can't say officially if that's what the core team is promoting, but you can do a ton with Astro. It's not just static sites. You can obviously hit APIs and stuff, but there's also server-side rendering. You can deploy to the edge or to just Lambda. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So we're just going to get started. And there are templates. Like if we go, yeah, there's themes and there's tutorials and integrations. I'm not going to dig into that today so much. Oh yeah, don't forget, I have to remove the comments. This is one thing that I still forget with StreamYard, because when I'm streaming on Twitch on my own channel, they just kind of pop up and disappear if I have them. But anyways, cool. So we're just going to go ahead and create a new Astro site. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here just so folks can get a better view. So, oh yes, I'm still on the wait list for Copilot Voice. Thank you for telling me every time I open the editor. Okay, so I'm just running npm create Astro at latest, as you can see from the website here. And we're just going to go ahead and create a new project here. I'm a big fan of this CLI as well. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hi, Dio. So let's go ahead and we'll just call this Astro stream or Astro CFE stream. Naming is hard, naming is important. Okay, so I'm going to include the sample files. There are blog templates. We're not necessarily going to build out a blog today, but that's something you can definitely do. I'm going to go with just the sample files, and we're going we're just gonna build something out. Like I don't have anything scripted here. There's some stuff I've been thinking about doing for a while, so I'm gonna see if I can just kind of kickstart that whole thing. All right. Yeah, I gotta say shout out to the CLI for starters. It's one of the best CLIs in terms of when you do an installation. So I think other people are taking inspiration from what they do in Astro. Um, so let's bring this open. And while that's going on, I actually do have the Houston theme in VS Code. So I got Houston hanging with me today. I change themes every now and then, but I'm kind of stuck on the Houston theme at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. So if you're curious about that, you can go into your VS Code extensions and just go. Okay, shout out to Nate, CLI Guru. Cool. Yeah, Nate's on the core team. Never met Nate, but I've heard great things. And anytime I hear the name Nate, I just want to say Nate the Great. So there you go. Shout out to Nate. Okay, cool. So we've installed everything here, and I'm going to go ahead and just start things here. So let's clear this, and I'm just going to do, actually, let's take a peek in here. I know some people in the chat have definitely worked with Astro, but let's take a look at the folder structure. So I got to open up VS Code with it and stream with, where did I put it? LS. Astro, that's it, sorry. Astro, CFE stream. Okay, and then this is my shortcut that I always like to mention. If you use VS Code from the terminal, if you add a -r, it opens it in the current window. Because I always used to, it would open another window and then I'd close the other one. So that's just a little tip for the day. So we're going to take a peek quickly at what's in Astro here. So you have a configuration. Right now it's bare bones because this is just the bare bones with a couple sample files that I'll load up in a second here. We've got the package JSON, which is pretty standard, obviously, but we've got a dev command. We can start. I'm not sure. I always wonder about tools in general when the dev and the start are the same command. And anyways, that's just a side note. But we have a build here too. So the build command will run Astro check, which I imagine does linting and type checking, and then it will build the actual thing. And we can also preview. I honestly don't know what just running Astro does. I think that might just be like npx Astro potentially, but Sarah or somebody in the chat who is very familiar with Astro could let me know. But cool. And then in there, we've got a public folder. This is typically when you deploy. This will be some assets like the fav icon, for example. A lot of the stuff, I'll zoom this in. I'll zoom down a bit after, but just so everybody can see here. So when you have the source folder, which it's a pretty standard structure for like frameworks. And in here, there's 3 folders that you get by default. So you have components, and we'll talk about Astro components in a second. You get a layouts folder, and you also have a pages folder. So let's go ahead and let me zoom this down all right. And I'm going to open up here, and I'm going to type nr. That's just my alias for npm run, and I'm going to run dev. And this is going to start up Astro. And it's running on localhost 4321 by default. So let's go ahead and open that up. And here we go. We have an Astro site. This is using the sample files that they gave. So let's go take a peek at a page, for example. Let's go look at index Astro, which is what this page is here. And I'll just hide the terminal so we get a bit more real estate. And let's do this. There we go. Okay, so it's going to look very familiar here. This for people that have done React, it's going to look like JSX. It's not JSX. It's, I guess, Astro format. It's mainly, to me, it's mainly HTML. The only difference I see here is the layout component, which you'll notice it has it's a Pascal case. So this is, from what I've seen in other frameworks too, Pascal case for framework specific components is usually what people do. You'll see this in React, Preact, Quick. I mean, those are all JSX alternatives. But the one thing to notice right away with an Astro component is you have these, we call them code fences, or you can call them just three dashes. But the code fences here are where you do your imports and from JavaScript, and this can also include components. So it's importing a card component from an Astro component here, but you can also add, I could say like console.log. I could say hello client, sure. And if I open this up, and the dev tools are always kind of small. I don't think this is actually going to render on the client. I think it's going to render, yeah, it's going to render on the server side, I think. Yeah, okay, so that should really be hello from the server. If we want it from the client, we can do that elsewhere. But so first thing to notice is I believe by default, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but I believe Astro nowadays ships in hybrid mode where you can have static and dynamic content. Whereas I think initially it used to just be like static content, so like for generating a static site. Um, so some cool things to note is like this page is server-side rendering right now, and I can also demonstrate that if we stop the server for a second. And I'm gonna there's many ways you can debug Node.js, but I am going to use the built-in JavaScript debug terminal in VS Code, and I'm going to put a breakpoint. We're not going to dig in too much into debugging here today. There is the first stream I did for Twofold 2 Stack is actually about debugging. If I don't know if you have access to that link, Brian, but you can definitely drop that. So you can see here, this is running in Node right now, so I am actually, this page is loading. I don't know if you can see it. I'm using the Arc browser, but there's like a kind of like a loading bar at the top. It's kind of faint gray. You might be able to see it. Oh yeah, I can see it in the live stream minimized there. So I'm actually on the server side right now. Hey, Becca, how's it going? It's my awesome coworker, Becca. We were on a stream together earlier today, so it's a big stream day. So yeah, I just wanted to do this here to show that this is actually server side rendering right now. And cool. And I'm just going to press F5 to continue. And, like we could even do other stuff here just to kind of get the point across. If I say like throw, and I'm not going to throw an arrow, I'm just going to say CFE is awesome. And if we save that, there we go, an error occurred. And I wanted to show the error page because it's actually pretty cool what it's got here. This is the error I threw, but you can see there's lots of information it talks about, and then I can actually click on a link on the error page, and I can go to open it in the editor, and that's just kind of neat. Okay, yeah, and we've got a theme color too. That's cool. So let me undo that, and let's undo this. You can leave the hello from the server. I'm going to disconnect from the debugger because that's not the point of the stream today. Let's just go back to the regular. Okay, so we got Astro running here again. Everything's back, tip top. Okay, so let's go back to the files here. And so one thing to note is all of the components that are running right now. So we have components here. They're Astro components. And hey, Chris, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Shout out to all the virtual coffee people in the chat. So one thing to note about components in Astro is they're always going to render server side, or if you're generating a static site, it's just going to generate it. There's no client side aspect to it. If you want to do something client side, you have to opt into it. And folks have probably heard this several times already, but you can kind of bring your own framework to Astro. So if you're a fan of Vue, you can go ahead and use Vue. If you like Preact, which I used quite a bit when I worked at Dev2, you can put that. Fan of React, or there's even an integration with Quick, which is a newer framework now. And I also saw recently, not sure if it was Ben Holmes's stream or one of his Whiteboard the Webs, but they were talking about Astro with HTMX and Alpine JS. So it's literally like bring whatever you want. And I kind of want to touch on, I'm gonna create a React component shortly, but let's go ahead and just modify this. So I'm gonna say YOLO, and then Okay, did I save that? Okay, and let's refresh. Do I have my server running? Let's see here. Yeah, that's good. Why did it not add it? Save, refresh. Okay, yeah, they bundle it still. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing my added thing there, but let's see here. Maybe it's cached. Oh no, it's down here. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong header. So you can see in the cards, it added YOLO right away. So um, what's free uni saying? It's not only anything you want, it's everything you want. Yeah. You could conceivably say like I'm going to create a site that has, you know, React, Vue, Svelte. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but like I think in terms of a kitchen sink demo, it would be a cool thing to demo. Um, but yeah, and you can bring anything to like you can even write script tags. You could like uh, basically you can run any kind of JavaScript if you want. But let's kind of add React here. So the nice thing about the CLI, if we get back to it, is let me clear here, and I'm gonna see because I can't remember um, Astro add React. I know it's just like Astro add React. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. So I'm gonna drop a link to this. Folks can check out. This is specific to React, but it's just an example of how you can easily add something to Astro. So I'm going to open up the Astro config, and I'm going to run Astro add React, and it's going to install. I'm going to say yes, continue, and you're going to see the configuration get modified. And yes, continue. Okay, cool. So let's start this up again. Let's hide that. So you're going to see here just how easy it was to add an integration. They call them integrations, but in this case, we're adding React. And so now I have access to React in the project. So let's come over here and let's go to components. So let's create a new file here. And I'm a big fan of YOLO. So YOLO.tsx. We've got TypeScript in the project and it's React. Let's just do export const YOLO. And we're just going to say return YOLO for now. Okay, so now we got that component. And if I come over here now, in theory, I should be able to, and you know what, I'm going to get rid of some stuff in the template here just to give us some real estate. We'll keep the main because that's good for accessibility reasons. And let's see here, YOLO. And you're going to see, okay, I forgot to mention, I do have the Astro VS Code extension installed, but you can see here, I can import the component. And you see it's gotten imported up here now. Okay, so that's great. Now, this is still running, so let's come back to here. Now you see I've got my React component rendering in the main now. Uh, and I just want to kind of reiterate how quick and easy that was for me to just add a framework and start using it. Now, let's let's uh, let's let's do something here that might cause some unexpected effects that people might expect. So, not expect. So, let's just add a button. So remember, we're in React land, so this is JSX. So we're just going to use React's synthetic events here. And I'm going to say, I'm inlining this function, but it's fine. It's just to demonstrate something. So alert YOLO. Okay. I'm going to save this. It re-rendered. Now I'm clicking it and nothing's happening. So what's going on here? So I'm going to back up a bit and explain. If we view the page source, I don't know how many people view page source these days still, but if we wrap this up, there's a bunch of stuff from Astro, but you're going to see that YOLO button, it's over here. Let me zoom it in. Zooming in. Okay. Find YOLO. Okay. You're going to see that server side rendering happened and we got our button added in there. And this is something, whether it's Astro or if you're using Next.js with like app router or server side rendering something, even though these are client interactive components, they still like the best way to do this nowadays and kind of like the way we used to do things too, but you want to render that HTML for that particular interactive component. And you're going to see right now nothing, like I said, there's no interactivity when I clicked on the YOLO button. So let's come over here, and I'm going to come in here, and you're going to see there's different I think they're called directives. Correct me if I'm wrong on the naming here, Sarah. I know you're in the chat. So so we can do like client idle means like once like the page is loaded in any JS that had run, that's when you can run this. We can say on client load. There's other ones like I think visible means like as you scroll in, that's when it attaches. But I'm going to go with the easy one for now, which is just client load. Okay. And we'll get to the actual page in a sec, but I'm going to refresh the view source because it's going to re-render the new source. And I want to show you, it's a little different now. So let's zoom out a bit. Okay. You're going to see, I'm going to copy it into, I'll copy this into VS Code, but um, let's do this. And you're going to see this part. There's a bunch of stuff, but the thing I wanted to show you is you're going to see that YOLO button that I created prior to adding that client load directive. It now has this thing here. These are HTML comments for folks who've never seen those. And uh, oh, disable minification while demoing. That's a good call. Thank you. And you can see it's wrapped with an Astro island. So already that's turned this into something interactive now. So I just wanted to bring that up because like you can bring your framework of choice that you want to work with, and you can actually server side render a ton of stuff. Like you could conceivably like use Astro and just use React to render like a whole static site and never even have client interactivity. But a lot of people bring in the framework because they want to do client side interactivity with their framework of choice. Okay, don't save that. For Uni, if you don't mind telling me, because I actually don't know how to disable minification in Astro. I imagine it's just in the config. Minification. Okay, there we go. False. Okay, found it. All right, cool. I might have to restart the dev server, so let's do that. Okay, cool. And let's minimize this so we get our real estate back. Gonna close this. So now we have the YOLO button. Yeah, on the config. Thanks, for uni. So now if we come back to this index Astro, you're gonna see I have my YOLO and I've added that client load directive, which we saw added some extra markup when we looked at the view page source. So now when I click the button, I'm getting that client interactivity now. And I think this kind of speaks to, you know, Astro not shipping any JS. Like there's probably a bit of JS when you're doing development because there's like a dev server and stuff. But like for a production build, as far as I know, it wrong key. Okay. Um, as far as I know, it should ship literally zero JS unless you all of a sudden start adding stuff like client load and stuff. So so that's pretty cool. And you can change if you need to show the source. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not going to dig too much into the view source anymore, but I just kind of wanted to reiterate that point about when it renders and how it renders because um, I've spoken to a few people and just having worked on the frameworks, like I said at Netlify, like I think there was some confusion sometimes where, and honestly, when I first heard that Astro had this feature where you could bring in your own client side framework, I didn't I didn't realize at first that they were doing the server side render of the client component. It definitely makes sense. Okay, compress HTML. Okay, okay, there we go. I didn't mean to highlight that. Sorry, but compress HTML. I'm gonna go to that because compress because yeah, it's definitely a lot easier. False. Okay, cool. That's okay. It did restart. Okay, I didn't need to. That's nice. Didn't have to restart the dev server. So just for funsies, I'm going to go ahead and view page source again, not inspect. And we should have okay, that's awesome. Thank you for that tip, Friuni. I honestly didn't know about all those settings in the Astro config, so that's super helpful, easier to read. And you can see here, there's some Astro islands here, and there's some CSS associated with that saying to display the contents, I guess. I don't think these are technically web components, but the browser is very forgiving, so it allows you to just put in tags. But the Astro, I imagine when it bundles everything, it's able to see those boundaries of okay, Astro Island, and it knows how to load the particular JavaScript for that particular component. So yeah, so that's kind of neat how you can just bring in stuff. I think that's super cool. Gonna take a quick pause here and take a sip. I'm a little not tired today, but I had to get up early to take my daughter to an appointment, so I'm drinking a bit of an energy drink now. Um, yeah, and the thing with this is getting back to the Astro CLI, like we could say add Tailwind, and I know Tailwind is a hot debate sometimes, but I just think it's really cool how easy it is to integrate these things. It's literally like just give me another Lego block and you're off to the races. And so then I can come here and let's start off in our dev again, npm run. And so now we have a Tailwind config. I'm not going to change anything, but it's all configured for Astro. It knows to look in the source folder, and it's going to say like use Tailwind if you got an Astro component, if you got HTML, uh, basically all the types of components. And now if we come back to my YOLO component, I could do stuff like class name equals, and then all of a sudden I could do bg dash, like let's go white, and then let's say text dash black. Nothing really that elegant, but all of a sudden I've got Tailwind, and that took me like what 10 seconds. Yes, I have a fast internet connection, so the CLI ran pretty quick, but I think this is like, you know, at the end of the day, it's super important that it's the user experience for sure, that whoever's, using your website. But I really love the simplicity of just being able to bolt on other things. And I imagine you can probably create your own add-on if you wanted to, or integration, I should say. But I just love how this is just so easy to do. And then I can just, I started using Tailwind at work. I never used it before, but it's just boom. It's just nice. Like I am being super productive right now just by doing 2 NPX Astro ads. So there we go. That's a massive button, but there we go. Okay, cool. So there's other things we can do. There's the dog. Yeah, here it is. Dog. This one. I only know about this particular API because I found out about it the other day from. I was doing a live stream with Attila from Crab Nebula, and he introduced me to this. So we've got the index Astro there. Now, one thing that is cool is, so typically like prior to like if we talk about Next.js for a second, there's all this talk about server components and how you can like await data, and then like you can do this all on the server. You can do this on Astro. So, and one thing that Astro has out of the box is top level await. And I think something happened at some point where somebody's site like was making too many calls or something happened, but like that got sorted out. But I just remember reading about that. But anyways, let's do like const doggos, not goddos, doggos. And I'm going to do await fetch, and let's just get that list of dogs. This is a free API, so I'm not gonna bust the limits or anything, but okay, let's do that, and then we're gonna say actually this is response. And again, I just want to reiterate, I'm doing this is gonna run on the server now. if you have like super data heavy stuff, like where I work at open source, typically the pattern we use is like we're loading a page and there's some minimal information about the page, but we have like a lot of data that comes in for some graphs we use. So we server side render that minimal amount of data. And then when it comes to the actual heavy data, we just do those fetches on the client side. But for this particular one, I just want to show that you can do stuff server side. So we're going to say const doggos. And if folks have questions, feel free to ask. I might not have the answers to everything, but feel free to ask away. There's also some core team members of Astro in the chat. And I really do appreciate for uni with your tips and stuff. Like I said, I learned a couple of things about the config today. So, okay, we're going to await the response.json, and this is going to give me a list of doggos. And, oh yeah, this is something that's cool. So Astro has this concept of props, and it's props kind of like you're thinking. If think of like other frameworks, like it's. I would say this is heavily based on React, but the props pattern. But this is something that actually. Oh, sorry, that should be equals. This is something that made things pretty native. Wrapping up, it made it pretty easy for me. I think I'm trying to remember the Astro prop syntax because there's read only. There's a hold on, I gotta look it up real quick. Load Astro props. It's been a minute. Um, Props. Hold on a sec. Okay, yeah, component props. Const. Oh yeah, sorry, I gotta destructure it and interface. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's just do it that way. So we'll say const astro.props. That's how you do it. No. Doggos. Oh wait, there we go. Doggos. Okay, cannot redeclare block scope. Yeah. Okay, sure. Let's do payload then, and we'll just say payload is. I don't remember how you do it. Um, there. Yeah. Let's do the interface first. So this is TypeScript. So let's just add an interface, and then we'll just say props. I got Copilot kicking in here probably. Doggos record string. I don't know if that's the correct format, but it might be. Okay, so we've got that there, and okay, we got that, and I'm trying to remember how I said. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. Greeting equals props. I'm missing something here right now, but let's just go with the default. And so basically, I've created a prop server side. And then in here, I can come over and I could just say like uh, doggos. Okay, whoops. Let's iterate over doggos. Is this right? Message. I don't think it's message, but let's do this. Doggos breed. And I think but these are server side ones. So like um, I'm not using the React component right now. Um, thanks for the kind words to any TV. Yeah, Brian and the team have done lots of great work. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, exactly. Name. I'm not sure why it wouldn't let me use doggos because like it should. Anyways, I'll go with that. And so now we have the dogs here, and I'm just gonna go ahead because I can't remember what the format is, and I'm just gonna do a pre. And actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of this and do pre. Let's do code. And then in here, whoops, beauty of live coding. I'm just going to turn on my fan for a sec here. I'm starting to melt and I'm not about to take off my hoodie right now. And then in here, we'll just do JSON.stringify. Then we'll do uh, doggos, and then we'll say null uh, 2 just to get pretty print. And I think this should work. Let's bring this over here and come back. Okay, so you can see here, I waited on the server side to get some props, and then I had access to the prop in the component. So we can see here it's message. So let's do this. Okay, message. Yeah, okay. So let's come down here now and let's kind of iterate through them. Okay, let's do doggos. Okay, I'm gonna let it do what it thinks it should be doing. I don't know if that image is right, but let's just make this an anchor. Okay, there's no image right now. We'll sort that out after. And let's open and let's do breed. Cool. And I think I need to close it after. Is that right? This is syntax error. So doggos, there. Okay, this looks good. I think I need to, that's there. And then we've got the div, and then it should be there and then there, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we've got, we're moving a little further. So these are links now, I think. Yeah. So, and if I go to a breed, okay, that's giving a 404 because that page doesn't exist. But this is kind of cool because this could lead into something else. So like this is 404ing when we go to breed slash Afrikaans. So let me just style this up a bit because let's go UL and let's make this a flex, flex wrap, gap 6. These are tailwind stuff, nothing specific to uh, to Astro. Cool. So we got the breed here, and because it's a UL, let's add a LI. And we're in the Astro component still. And notice that I don't have to do like, I'm pretty sure you don't need to have a key like you do in React. So this is gonna reload. Okay, this is all the different ones here, and then we could do like, let's just do hover, and let's say text uh, orange. I don't know. Let's see. Is that right? I got it wrong, but anyways, not going to worry about that. The thing I want to focus on here now is, so like if we go to this, let's go to a boxer. So we're going to get a 404 page here now. So let's take a, and like I said, we can't cover everything today in Astro. There's a ton of stuff. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. I enjoy live streaming and live coding. It's yeah, I enjoy this kind of pressure. I actually find it kind of relaxing. The thing about streaming that stresses me out is because I'm not an audio or video file. It's always about like, is the stream running? Can people hear me? But like once I get past that, which I have most of that stuff automated now, I'm good. So I think it's just fun to explore these things, and I always appreciate when people are in the chat just asking questions or pointing out, no, do this instead. So all right, so we've got this 404 here. So let's go to pages and let's create a new folder here, and we're going to say breeds. And if I reload this, we're still going to get a 404, but let's do this. Okay, new file. Did that? No, okay, yeah, new file, and then let's just do. I think it's the syntax with Astro. Now I'm going to come here now, and then we're going to add our code fence. And I believe we should have const get breed from file route. I'll figure it out in a sec. But if we get to here, I'm just gonna add. Let's add a main. I'm not gonna add the layout or anything right now, but just p hello on the doggo page. Save that. I think I might have got it right. Okay, yeah. So it's loading it, but okay, I got to do get static pass. Yeah, so that's okay. And again, just big shout out. I love that they have the page here. So, just gonna do static path, Astro, which is pretty similar to whatchamacallit. This I think they've taken inspiration from other places, other frameworks. Okay, so yeah, we got to export. If the page uses dynamic pass. Actually, let me share this in the chat. There we go, and I will pop that up. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we need to do the get static pass, and then yeah, I think the function is required because Astro is a static site builder. This means your entire site is built ahead of time. Blah blah. Okay, so let's do this params. I think this is it. And then uh, param slug doggo. That looks pretty good, I think. Okay, let's see if that worked. Type error. Expected breed to be a string. Okay, so this is TypeScript kicking in. So let's open an editor. Okay, let me close the sidebar here. Okay, this particular file is not helpful. This is like just into the weeds of node modules, but slug doggo expected breed to be a string. I'm trying to remember how we bring this in. Let's go ahead and look back here. And I think based on like the time frame, because I have a hard stop at 3 p.m. my time, which is in about 14 minutes, I think we're definitely gonna do another stream. Okay, so S slug breed that I get, but I'm just wondering import type export. No, that's context local. So the page uses dynamic params in the file name. A component needs to export a yeah. Okay, I am exporting. Slug breed. I'm not sure what the S is for that you're talking about, but let me see if I can do this. Okay, so get static pass. Okay, we could do it that way. The key of the params object must be the name of the dynamic route. Oh yeah, sorry, there should be breed. I think that's what you meant. Okay, that's better. But we're still getting the 404. Let's see here. You called it breed, but the function returns slug. Yeah. It's returning breed now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe it's just that. Let's do that maybe. So let's come over here. I guess I kind of wanted to bring it in here, but let's just do a test here. Params breed. Why does it not like breeds? That should be it. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. What is it? I just want to check real quick again here. Astro params, Astro props, post, get static pass. Here. Okay, so we got here posts, post.map, return. Okay, props, post. Okay, yeah, we could do it like that, and then yeah, we could do this, I guess. Okay, so obviously this is not exactly what we want. So the posts ID category. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, man. Yeah. Okay, let me go back to what we had there. Okay, yeah. So if we come back to the page here, it's giving a 404 because that page doesn't exist. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so hello from the doggo page. Shout out to Friuni in the chat. Cool. Once again. Okay, so yeah, this is because I'm specifying it, but we could generate this like Brian was saying. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's breed, and then this should be, I think at this point, let's go ahead and come and generate those. So let me make this full screen, and let's go to the index Astro. Okay, let's get this. Okay, and let's do this. And we're going to get the message. I'm not going to do any error handling here. So it's going to give us the message, and the message is what gives us the breed. Yeah, and the breed. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, so then what we're going to do is, wait, hold on. Let me go back one sec. Breed doggos.met. Yeah, okay, it is the full thing. Okay, so let's come back here. And we'll say message is actually doggos. Okay, and then params here, we're gonna just map over it. So we're just gonna say we want to keep this format. So we're gonna say doggos map params, and let's just make sure params breed doggo, and there. Okay, that should be good, and that is not going to be doggo. That's going to be, call this breed, and we'll call it breed. Okay, and actually I can refactor this to just breed now. Okay, so we've got that now, and if we reload this, why is doggos.map not a function? Let's see. We'll get this working, and then I think we'll probably call it a day. Const message doggos. Why doesn't it like that? Let's do this. Console.dir doggos. Let's open up the logs here real quick. Okay, so it returned, just going to the top here. So it logged out the breed. Yeah, so that's right. Oh, it's an object keys. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So let's do this. So good old debugging. Okay, so we're going to say object dot keys doggos, and then that's going to map over them. And then if I come back here now, this should load. Okay, now doggo doesn't exist because that was one that we hard coded. But if we go to Boxer now, it works. And let's go back to the main page here. I'm going to refresh. So now if I go to like Basenji, which I have no idea what breed that is, it says hello from the doggo page. It's all showing the same thing right now, but we can add the actual breed in here. So I think to get that, it's the it's been a minute. Okay, yeah. So get static pass props Astro. You're just reading it from there. Yeah, let's just go take a peek again real quick. Okay, yeah, Astro param. Sorry. There we go. That's what happens when you're a little tired. And breed there, and breed, and let's come back here. And then so now we've got the thanks Friuni coming in with the big W again. So we got all this here now. So this is cool. So we're generating all these paths, and then we can actually load, and based on the param we can do certain things. And then dog CEO, yeah, list all dog CEO API. Okay, and let's get breeds list and image random. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this URL, breed / images random. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna add an image src equals alt equals breed, and we're going to put this in, and then we're going to say, oh, this has to be a template string. So come here, let's come here. Okay, and let's add breed. And I think just a reminder too, I loaded up React to show that interactive component, but for this one, this is all just uh, Astro components. And this is something that I noticed personally is when I started using this, okay, that's not the right, okay, let's check the URL. The one thing I noticed when I was starting to use Astro is I got very far with just Astro components, and I found them. If I found the learning curve for them, it was just pretty easy. And like obviously you can do the interactive stuff with like if you want to bring in your own particular framework. But like I basically started creating a site, and I was like just doing everything in Astro components. Yeah. And we continue. Yeah, missing the dollar. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. It's a template string. It's not the actual thing. Perfect. Cool, cool. All right. So breed. Let's see if that works. No. Okay. Interesting. Let's inspect again. Also, shout out to alt text on the image so I can actually see. Okay. So maybe that isn't the open in new tab. Let's see. Oh, okay, sorry, that's fetching a random picture. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so cool. So we will change this to image URL. And then here, we're just gonna say const and then image URL. And then I'm gonna say equals Astro dot props. Man, that IntelliSense is like getting in my way. Okay, and we just need to get the image. So let's do const, and then we're gonna say response again, and that's correct. Params.breed. No, we can just go with breed. And let me move this down below that so we have access to that. Let's give it a little breathing room, and it's not response, it's response. Okay. Yeah, okay, and possibly surrounding the string too. Okay, yeah, cool. So I'm gonna await this. This is gonna give us a response, and then const. We're gonna get the payload, which is the message. Which okay, it's doing what I want to do, which is I just want to change it to image URL. But you know what? Let's just. It's not liking that for some reason, so let's just say this. Okay, cool. And let's close this. And there we go. We got a doggo. We say hello on the Dalmatian page. And then let's go to Entel Buckler, which I didn't know about that. So I know we're almost at time. It's an hour. We only kind of scratched the surface on some things here, but I just kind of want to go over what we talked about. And also just shout out to the new Astro dev toolbar down here. Check that out too. I got to speak to Brian, but from CFE, but I definitely love to do another Astro where we can dig into other stuff. There's content collections with, strongly typed. There's all kinds of things. So just to reiterate what we looked at, we used the Astro CLI, which was really easy to get set up. And I started a bare bones site with just a couple of the example files. And then from there, we discussed about how you can bring in interactivity by bringing in your favorite framework. We use the Astro CLI, just doing npx astro add, and I put in React. And then all of a sudden, I was able to create a React component, which is our famous YOLO. And I also did the same thing. I brought in Tailwind, and these things were super fast. It made me so productive, which I think is really amazing. We talked about Astro components and how you can do server-side rendering. It's table stakes to have TypeScript support out of the box these days for frameworks. They do have it, which is great. We did a quick view of talking about the client interactivity in terms of, we saw when I did the view page source before we added the client directive, the client::load directive, that it rendered the markup of the YOLO button But then once we added the client colon load directive, we saw that it got surrounded by an Astro island and an HTML comment. And these are markers for, I guess, the Astro compiler to know this is how I need to split up JS to load for this particular interactive component. And then we looked briefly at, we hit the famous dog CEO API, which I learned about this week. We're able to render a full list on the index page, just iterating through them. And also just showing that you can just, you can do a top level await and you can just load the data. And then we looked at the get static pass with the file-based routing, and we're able to just generate a page fairly quickly, aside from me stumbling for a couple minutes. Thank you again to FreeUni in the chat. And yeah, so we basically built out a kind of fictional doggo marketing site pretty quickly, where there's an index page with all the breeds, and then here's like this particular breed, and here's a cute dog. So yeah, I'm really bullish on Astro. I think it's a great framework. And yeah, a little tired of cats. Okay, yeah, we still love you, cats, but yeah, the doggos are getting some love today. But yeah, I'm really excited about what the Astro team's doing, and the fact that you can bring your own framework into it as well is super compelling. So yeah, lots of great work done here. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. I really appreciate the conversation and the help. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up, and we'll probably be back with another Astro stream probably in a month's time. And yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great day.